cat. I'm gonna have to disturb you. I need to get that car out from under you. Gonna have to find somewhere else to sleep, I'm afraid. Guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're going to do something slightly different today. We're going to do a couple of start videos on some cars I've got around here. Kicking things off with two of my 1970s Rover P6 V8s. So these things have been sitting around with a while. Made an attempt earlier in the year and indeed last year to get them running, so I'll show you some of that footage as well. But we're going to have another crack off it now and see if we can get these things fired up. They need a bit of work, so I'd like to get them moving under their own power as soon as possible and see that we can crack on with some jobs we need to do on them. If you're new to the channel, make sure you check out the other videos on here and hit the subscribe button if you like what you see. If you like this video, make sure you give me the thumbs up, always helps. And please make sure you leave a comment as well. If it's just to say hello, or maybe you have an opinion on something I'm doing here, or just to, you know, if you like the video, let me know. Or if you want to see videos on any other stuff I have around here, just leave a comment below. So May 2020 we dragged this thing out of the garage. It was sat with about 2 years. The battery was still inside in the car, and unsurprisingly the battery appeared to be dead. There was no warning lights or anything when I turned on the key. But it turned out that the master switch had just gone faulty, so it changed that out, and believe it or not, the original battery was still able to crank it. Now this battery has been in the car since at least 2008 when I bought it, so I was quite shocked by that. And it's a Halford brand battery. Show you later in the video. The car fired up pretty much immediately, but started leaking fuel from one of the carbs. So we just pushed it back in there, then ordered parts. We got new seals for the float chambers, and we got new valves. And then when I started about rebuilding the carbs, I started on the cat project at the same time, so the car kind of got pushed to one side. We also got a full set of coolant hoses for it because the coolant hoses were completely rotten. But that's where she stayed. She stopped working her in May of last year, so we're just going to take it up from there now. And here she is. Let's zoom out a bit. This is my 1972 Rover P6 3500S. These things pretty much breed around here, I think. There's another two of them in the workshop that I've owned a bit longer than this one. And there's another one we've just broken for spares recently as well that needs to go. So, if you're from the US, you might be very familiar with these. They were only imported for a few years, and there is a bit of a difference between the European S and the US one. So this car looks probably pretty ratty on the surface. You can see there's a lot of spots of corrosion here, but it's actually quite solid underneath. It's just this sort of suffered from a really bad paint job, so something I'm going to have to address. Panels are pretty good. In terms of what's needed in welding wise, bottom of the door, front and back needs to be done, especially the back door. And I've got better wings that I could put on it, but I think the wings are not as bad as they look. Just show you this interior. So this thing really does have a beautiful interior. I'll just jump in the back so I can give you a better shot. You see at the moment it is used to store the cushions off the garden furniture, and it's also the cat's bed when they stay out at night. So I'll just jump in here. A better shot of the interior. So this is the interior. As you can see, it's in quite good condition, and this car has a lot of desirable extras. Like, it's got the what they call the ET headrests. And you look at those in profile, you can see why they call them ET headrests. It's got the correct S steering wheel. It's got its 4-speed manual. Now all of these, all the P6s I have are the 3500S, but they're all manual. I've converted 2 of them to 5-speed. So this is the last 4-speeder I have. That gearbox is going to need a small bit of work. The shift linkages are. So I've got a spare gearbox in the workshop, and what I'm going to do is build up another remote. Just do the bushes and things in it, and get this thing on the lift and swap it out after in one go. So that's the interior. Just needs a decent clean. So as you can see, it's been kind of used for storage. Recently found a bag of horse feed I'd put in here and forgot about. So yeah, it needs a good clean, but it's not that bad. So let's go to the business end. See if I can open this with one hand. Oh, just give me a second. And this is the engine. Might bring you some of the footage, the previous footage from this in a minute. I started dismantling it. There were a couple of problems with this car. I knew before I parked it up that the coolant hoses were all rotten on it. So I've a full new set of hoses. I'd started fitting those. And when we fired it up, it started to drip fuel from the right-hand carb. So I've got new float valves for those, hoping that'll cure it, and new gaskets for the float chambers. So I'll take you through that in a second. But in the meantime, if you're not familiar with these cars or this engine, this is the Rover 3.5 litre V8. But this thing actually started its life in the US. This was known as the BOP 215, or Buick Oldsmobile Pontiac 215 cubic inch engine. It's all aluminium. It was only used in by GM in cars for, I think, 3, maybe 5 years before they junked it. There just wasn't a demand for aluminium engines, and as well as that, they had a high rate of scrap blocks. So Rover bought the rights to this. I believe it was part of a deal with Mercury Marine, who they were providing the 2.25 diesel Land Rover engine for marine applications. And while they were there doing the deal, they knocked across one of these engine blocks from the ground, or so the story goes, and bought the rights to manufacture it. So they changed the way that the blocks were cast, which resulted in far higher success rate. And this thing went on for years. I think Rover introduced it in about 1967 in the Rover P6 V8s, and it carried on right through to, I believe, about 2005, but I'd have to check it. So it was in the Range Rover, it was in various Land Rovers, right up to the end of Discovery 2 production. So that would have been about 2005, and it was also used in various Morgans, TVRs. It was even used in a van at one stage. It was in the Sherpa van, So it was in the ambulance chassis, and I believe the police in the UK use them as well. So that's it. So it's fitted with a set of SU carbs. So let's bring one of these out. It's a HIF6. So it's HIF, so it's horizontal integrated float. So that's the float chamber in the bottom of it, and dash pot on top. So I'll take one of these apart in a minute and show you how it works. Gonna have to clean it up again. I think I had finished this one, but I'm just gonna need to double check it, and I'll pull off the other one and do it. I need to give them a clean on it as well. I think it was possibly last April or May that I last worked in this engine. So we'll get the coolant hoses in there and get these carbs done. And now what we'll do is we'll drop the battery in it and see will it start up. So let's get going. So absolutely everything on this carb and on this engine seems to have cat hair on it. No, look, I'm watching other guys and they find rat's nests and things, so I think I'd rather deal with the cat hair, but it's just gone everywhere. I have to clean everything again. I'm glad I blocked everything off. But they've clearly been spending a lot of time jumping up and down on this car. It's literally everywhere you go. Got one particularly furry cat, and yeah, she's definitely been here. I think I actually left the lid open on this thing for a while when I was working it last time. So it's absolutely everywhere. She must have been sleeping on top of this engine. Okay. Yeah, there's even cat hair in the float chamber. I don't know. It's actually a cobweb. So, yeah, this one has had the new jet fitted right in there. So I think we're good to go on this one. Okay, so I got the float level set. So it is basically a case of putting straight edge across here and measuring to this point on the float. So you have milli clearance. So that's set. So we can stick this one back together. You dropping all your hair in the intake again? That's why the car's so furry. Yeah, I just noticed there one thing straight away, that the float level I set in this one I think was a lot I was still set wrong. There was too much fuel going into this float chamber, but it was totally different to the setting on the other one. So would not have helped the way these carbs are running. Right, so that's the old needle and seat removed. Didn't look particularly bad. I'm going to keep them as backup. So the kit comes with the needle, the seat and the O-ring. Came from Berlin fuel systems. I think it's actually my first time replacing a needle set on one of these. So, goes on this way. You coming in, Jessica? What? What's that? You tell me it didn't do that properly? What is it? Yes. Oh. I'm told. You gonna come in the house? You gonna come in? Yeah, this cat likes this car. It's just something to note actually if you do have cats in your workshop, like me, antifreeze and coolant is highly toxic to cats, and because of the kind of sweet taste of it, they can drink it, so be very, very careful about how you handle antifreeze and dispose of it. I've had a drip tray under this when I drained down the cooling system and took it straight down to the workshop and made sure it was all put away properly and washed off, just in case the little one gets into it. Come on, cat. Let's go indoors. Get something to eat. Before I go putting these glass rat hoses in, probably makes sense just to remove the radiator very quickly and turn it upside down, back flush it. So it's only a couple of bolts. It's probably easier to do it at this point. And let's just tighten up those two connections at the back. Give it a little pull so you can free those brakes. The calipers in this thing were rebuilt about, well, it's probably 10 years ago now, but usually doesn't suffer from sticking brakes. It's been left in neutral, handbrakes have been left off, but it just seems to be bound up slightly on the front wheel, so we'll give it a little. Come on, cat. Sorry, no, I'm gonna have to move your bed again just for a few minutes. Okay, hold it 2 seconds. Okay, very gently. Okay, stop. Alright, just hold it there, put it in park. Thanks. Okay, it's broken loose, I think. Let's just see how we're running over it, just a plastic bottle. Just going to straighten up the steering and we'll bring it forward another little bit. keep going. Okay. So far so good. We'll just run the pump for another couple of seconds and see how we get on. I think we might have flooded it. Carburetors are gonna need a retune, I think, after having them apart. Plus I've got a small fuel leak from the fuel filter, so I'm gonna have to replace that. I think it's gonna rain, so I think we may not get this thing fired up today. Just gonna give it one last crack, and I think we're gonna have to roll it indoors then. Not happy about that fuel filter because it's right beside the distributor, and it's not the correct type of filter. It's, as you can see, it's too long, and I just don't like fuel leaks that close to the distributor, so I'll just give it one more pop, and after that we're going to put it away, and I think we'll have to come back to it in another video. So, as suspected, pulled on the plugs and it's absolutely drowned in fuel. So that's why she wouldn't run. She's caked in it. And it's all oily. So, gonna have to adjust that mixture. Now, in these cars, each carb feeds, they don't just feed a bank each. So say if you take the left hand carb, I don't know which way it works around, but we'll just talk about the left for the moment. If you take the left carb, that would feed, say, the front and rear cylinder on this head, and feed the two center cylinders on the opposite head, and vice versa. You know, somebody will correct me on this, I can't remember which way it works. So say in that case, our right hand carb would feed the two center cylinders on this bank, two outer cylinders on the other bank. Now this car had a habit of dropping 4 cylinders and becoming a V4 from time to time. Don't know if there's something funny going on, which is the main reason that I started by doing the float valves in it. It always felt like she was occasionally running out of fuel on one carb, and that she starts starving cylinders. And sometimes bringing in the electric fuel pump was enough to overcome it, and she come back to life. But it used to suffer badly from that. So I think there's nothing lost by having replaced those, and just checked the check to make sure that the floats are okay and things, and that there was no serious grit in there. So I just going to clean this plug up and put it in, and what I'm going to do then is I'll pull the next plug along the line, which should be fed from a different carb, and that way we'll know if it's just one carb suffering excessive fueling or both of them. Okay, so I pulled the plug from the next cylinder along the line, which should be fed from the opposite carb, and that was also soaked. I've just dried it off there course, I never hit record on the camera before I started, but that was wet as well. I might pull one or two more out of interest, but I think it's safe to say that we got a lot of fuel into those cylinders, so we're going to have to look at the setup in our carbs again. We're going to have to do a bit of adjustment. Separate video here, and we'll do a full setup, start to finish, on these dual carbs, these dual SUs, and setting them up. I think it's the best way I got about it, and we'll, once we get her up and running, balancing properly, we'll do a dynamic timing check on it as well, and just go through everything in detail and just get her up and running properly, because she's a nice engine. There's no reason it shouldn't run quite well, so I think it's just in need of a little TLC. So after that failure, I think we might give the 73 a shot and see if this plays ball. So drop the battery in it, and just going to start up the fuel pump now and prime the system. We'll see how we look. Knew she'd do it. So, just going to give you a quick check over for leaks, and try and get her to idle. Just going to get a better camera position. So yeah, it's been the last week or more prepping the just on and off. I didn't have much spare time getting the 72 ready to fire up, and hadn't touched the 73 since last time. And it just fired right up. We've got another 73 here, but this one is going to need a lot more work to get it go. So, right, that's it for now. I'll leave it at that. We'll be coming back to this card again shortly. I've got a video coming on the brake rebuild that I've done it. Need to get some rear tires for it, sort out the brake and clutch master cylinders. But I think we might just wait a couple of weeks until we install the lift, and it'll make life a lot easier. So that's it. Just welding in the workshop, so I might as well bring you an update on the Dexter. So there'll be another video coming on this soon. So you can see, just in the middle of welding it at the moment, and there's been some work done on the hard start issue. You can see in there's a new cold start system going into it, so a full video coming on that soon. You see that there, and gonna bring you a video on this little thing by Free Craftsman Right on More, which was sat for years, so we'll have to see if this thing will fire up and run. I had hoped to bring you an update on the cat as well today. I actually went down there to do some work and do some filming, and I was going to bring you a shot of that, but the entrance gate, which is electric, down to the track that I'm working on, had come off its rails, so I might have to go down and sort that out. But upshot was, couldn't get access today. I got some other stuff to work on, so I have to drop back down there maybe tomorrow, day after, and try and get on it. So it's coming along well. I expect to bring you a video shortly on the thing actually driving out of there and hopefully doing some excavation. I just got to throw the quick hitch on it and do one or two other small jobs, and hopefully we will be on our way. So that's all for now. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and turn your notifications on. That little bell symbol, hit that so you don't miss any future videos, including all the ones I've mentioned, plus some other projects that we're going to be bringing along shortly. I'm going to try and expand on what we're doing here a bit and bring you some more exciting projects as we come out of lockdown here, so be able to move around a bit more, get some more stuff done. In the meantime, look after yourselves, guys. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.